Nat 20.
That's me rolling the dice. Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And today we're here to teach you crits and tricks.
Crits and Tricks, it's designed by Pete Weisinger, its art is done by Arad Safar-Zadegan, and it's published by Inside Up Games, who helped sponsor this video.
Now this is a prototype, and it may be subject to change, so keep an eye out for the final version. But with all that said, let's jump to the table and let's learn how to play. As always, you'll begin by setting up. Each player will receive a set of dice and a player screen. You'll then form the mercenary deck based on your player count. For 4 players, you'll select 3 character suits and shuffle 8 cards from each together with 8 bards. For 3 players, you'll also select 3 character suits and shuffle 6 cards for each suit along with 6 bards together. For your first game, we recommend wizards, rogues, and barbarians. You'll then continue by preparing the quest deck. You'll remove quests with the character suits you did not choose and shuffle the remaining cards to form the deck. Finally, you'll locate the 4 Barkeep's challenges and place them near the play area along with all the loot. You're now ready to play. Crits and Tricks is played over 3 rounds, with each consisting of 6 tricks or turns. A trick is a term used to describe when every player has played 1 card from their hand, which one player will usually win based on the condition. You'll aim to complete quests and challenges by playing tricks in order to have the most loot by the end of the game. Let's go over the round structure and the trick play. To kick the round off, you'll do the following 5 steps. Number 1, check initiative. All players will roll their d20. The highest roll will go first this round. For the second and third round, whoever has the most loot will start the round. In case of any ties, you'll roll the d20 or roll again if your die value is the same. Number 2, you'll then summon your strengths. Here you roll your 6 dice behind your player screen. These should be kept secret from other players as they'll represent the strengths and attributes of your mercenaries. Number 3, you'll form your party by drawing 8 mercenaries from the deck. Number 4, you'll then claim your quests. Each player will be dealt 4 quests. You'll choose 1 to keep and pass the rest starting clockwise and alternating each round. You'll continue choosing 1 card in passing until each player has passed the final card. At this point, you'll review the 4 cards you have and choose 1 to discard. These 3 quests will be your objectives for the round. Finally, for the 5th step, you'll shuffle and reveal a random Barkeep's challenge. In the second and third round, the player with the least loot will choose one from the remaining ones left. These are round-end objectives that will give you an opportunity to earn more loot. You're now ready to play tricks. Each round consists of 6 tricks, where each player will play a mercenary from their hand and assign a die to the card as its value, sometimes also playing a crit ability from their hand. Play proceeds clockwise until all players have played a mercenary and assigned a value to it. One player will then win the trick, depending on the winning condition of the first card played. Now let's jump into the specifics. How do you start? Well, the player with the initiative will lead the trick by playing any mercenary card from their hand, assigning a die to it, setting its value, and optionally using a crit ability, which we'll discuss in a moment. The remaining players in turn order must follow the suit played if they're able to. The suit establishes how each trick will be won. Let's take a look at each of them. With barbarians, the player whose barbarian has the highest value will win. With rogues, the player whose rogue is the lowest value will win. With wizards, the player whose wizard's value is equal to or closest to 5 wins. With druids, the second highest value druid will win. With paladins, you'll win if your paladin has the highest value and the same die size as the lead player. And finally, the bard is a wild. If you lead with a bard, you'll declare one of the other 3 suits present, and the bard will match the winning condition of that suit. If you follow with a bard, it'll always match the lead suit. Now let's talk about the dice you assign. You can now see how they can be helpful to each of the suits. When choosing the die, you'll also have the ability to re-roll it once. You must keep the value of the roll if doing so. This gives you some flexibility. You can turn the tides in your favor if luck is on your side. Now with mercenaries and dice out of the way, we'll move on to the crit abilities. You notice you have 8 cards in your hand, but only 6 turns each round. Well, twice around you're able to additionally play one of the cards in your hand for their crit ability. You can even use both of your crit abilities in the same turn. Let's go over them. The wizard's crit ability lets you swap your current die with one of the previously placed dice. The bard gives you the ability to re-roll your current die up to 2 times. The paladin breaks your tie without having to go to tiebreakers. The rogue lets you skip your turn to become the last player in turn order. The Barbarian gives you the ability to increase or decrease your current die's value by 1, 2, or 3. And finally, the Druid gives you the ability to force an opponent who has already gone this turn to re-roll their die once. Now that, in essence, is what you can do on a turn. Choose a mercenary card, following the lead suit if you're able to. Assign a die from behind your player screen to the card, choosing to keep the value or re-rolling it once. And optionally playing a crit ability, remembering that you can only play 2 for the entire round. Now, if you cannot follow the lead suit, you may play any other card from your hand. You still will need to assign a die to it, but you will not win the trick. After each player has played a card with a die, you'll resolve to see who has won the trick. Again, you'll look at the first card played, as the lead suit will determine how the trick is won. If there is a tie, the player who played the die with more faces, the larger die, wins. If there's still a tie, the player who played later in turn order wins. After a winner's determined, they'll collect all the mercenaries played in that trick. Make sure to keep stacks separate so you know how many tricks you've won over the course of the round. Any mercenaries used for crit abilities will be returned to the owners face up to remind them how many they've played so far this round. All players will then place the die they used in front of their player screen, maintaining its value. At this point, if you've completed a quest, you'll reveal it and claim the loot listed on the card. The quest card is then discarded for the remainder of the game, and loot is always kept in front of your player screen. If you have dice remaining, you'll continue playing with the player who won the trick, leading the next. If not, 6 rounds have passed and the round has ended. At the end of the round, each bard you've collected during the round is worth 1 coin. Any bards used for their crit ability or remaining in your hand are worthless. End of round quests are now resolved and paid out if completed, and the Barkeep's challenge loot is awarded to all players who have met the card's condition. You'll now prepare for the next round. You'll first discard all the quests, completed or not, from the game. All mercenaries will be shuffled again to form a new deck, and then you'll follow the steps outlined previously to prepare for the next round. You'll keep playing, winning tricks, assigning crits, completing quests, and outwitting your opponents until the 3rd round comes to an end. At this point, you'll tally your loot, and the player with the most wins. Curious about the 2-player variant? Well, with 2 players, you'll have a smaller mercenary deck and public quests, which you'll race to compete each round instead. There's also a solo mode, but we'll leave you to check it out on your own.
And that's Crits and Tricks. Nat 20.
That's me rolling the dice.
Nat 20 is pretty good.
It is. Now, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.
And of course, if you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, because we love talking and teaching board games to folks like you.
Exactly. Now, this game is coming to crowdfunding. You can learn much more about it in the description below. But now for our question of the day. With the dice rolls and a little bit of luck, what is the biggest moment you've ever had in board games?
Ooh.
What's like a lucky roll you've had, or a turn of fate, or maybe you were the last player and you had to come back? We'd love to hear your story.
Yes. Leave it down in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.